With this photograph, I want to share with you a technique that you can use to create a muted or edgy type of look to your photographs. Now, this particular technique is incredibly easy, yet nonetheless it can help you come up with some really intriguing results. Well, here you can see that this fashion photograph was captured at the beach, and in our layers panel we have two layers: the original file as captured and then the image after some retouching. Now, we talked about the retouching and how to do that in one of my other training titles on fashion retouching, yet here what I want to focus in on is this color effect. So in order to add this effect, all that you need to do is to click on your adjustment layer icon for hue saturation in order to create a new hue saturation adjustment. Next, we're going to go ahead and desaturate the image. So we'll lower the saturation here, and then we're going to change our blending mode to soft light. Now, once we use that soft light blending mode, what it will do is it will blend in this desaturation effect into the color image. The ending result will be this really distinct look. Check it out. Here we have that before and then the after. Now, this effect works great whether you're photographing clouds or people or landscapes or products. It can just give your image that distinct or interesting aesthetic. Now, one of the ways that we can push this even further is by using the overlay blending mode. You can think of overlay as applying what soft light does, just with a little bit more intensity. So here you can see the image is even a little bit more bleached out. Here we have that before and then after. Yet with overlay, one of the things that we can see, which is even more problematic, is the black detail in the hair. We've completely lost this. Now, for a stylistic effect, that could be kind of interesting, but let's say that the client says, you know what, we need more detail in the hair. Well, no big deal. All that you need to do is apply some advanced blending to this adjustment layer. To do that, simply double click the layer. So you want to double click it away from the layer name and also away from the mask thumbnail. And when we double click the layer name, this opens up our layer style dialog. Well, here we can work on this layer. And if we click and drag up this black point here, you can see that I can bring detail back into the hair. And we can now see that in the background over there. Look at the before and after. Focus in on the hair there. There's the before and there's the after. Well, the downside of using this control is that a lot of times it makes the edge really jagged. We can correct that. In order to do that, hold down Option or Alt and simply click and drag these sliders to split those sliders. This creates a transition or diffusion between how it's bringing back this detail here. Well, now we can click on our preview. There's before and there's after, bringing back a little bit of detail into those areas. Now, many times bringing back detail like that is really important if this image is going to be printed, so that we have some detail there so that those blacks don't become completely blocked up. Now, how far you go with this, of course, is up to you. You get to make the decision in regards to how much detail you need. In my case, I'm going to lower this down just a little bit here in order to have a little bit less detail, and then go ahead and click OK. Well, now here we can see the before and after. There's before and there's after. A pretty distinct look and aesthetic. And again, if you want something a little more subtle, you could always lower the opacity, or you could try soft light. And soft light will give you nonetheless an interesting look, but not quite so intense. Here's our before and then after.